In this video, we are going to talk about MOG, some of its recent price action, and the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect to see MOG going in the next few days and weeks. We'll start by looking at the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we can see the very poor performance by this coin since the high back in July, and really a very bad performance since the mini alt season that we've had all the way back in late 2024. Although we did get significant rallies for MOG earlier in 2025, overall, since the high back in late 2024, MOG has been performing very poorly. Obviously, with MOG being a very low market cap meme coin, its volatility is absolutely insane. We saw rallies of 400% back in 2024, followed by dumps of over 90%, and again rallies of 500%, and another dump recently of about 80%. This insane volatility is both an incredible opportunity and an insane risk. Just as MOG can go up 500%, it can go down 90% as we've seen in the last couple of years. So this is something to definitely take into account and be aware of. But what I can say about the structure of MOG is that at least on the weekly chart, because this coin doesn't exist for long, there aren't many levels of support and resistance. We are currently approaching a major support area, which is the low that we've had back in April of this year. Back in April, when we had this low, this was a major low for the entire crypto market. Bitcoin was at about 75k, Ethereum was at about 1500, and back then, MOG was at similar levels to where it is right now. And back then, right after this low, we've seen a price increase of over 500%. So can we have a similar rally again from this level? In my opinion, it's possible, but it's absolutely not certain because the structure is actually very weak. And although this is one of the major support areas for MOG, it's not actually that strong of a support area in traditional ways because we've only hit that area one time in the entire history of the chart. Usually, a support area needs to be hit multiple times to really be a strong support area, but with MOG having so little price history, we barely ever get that type of support or resistance area really. So there is certainly potential for us to get a bounce from that support area, but in my opinion, what it really relies on is not the structure of MOG itself, but the correlation with Bitcoin. In my opinion, if we do see Bitcoin getting a significant rally from here, then MOG will likely follow it and get a rally similarly to what we've seen with MOG after the low back in April. As I explained in some previous videos, I am expecting Bitcoin to get at least a relief rally sometime soon because Bitcoin hit a death cross, which is basically an indicator that usually marks the low, at least the local bottom for Bitcoin, as well as the daily RSI for Bitcoin being at very oversold levels. So I am expecting Bitcoin to get a rally sometime soon. If Bitcoin does get a significant rally, crossing back above 100k and hopefully even approaching new all-time highs, if that does happen, then MOG will likely get a significant rally on its own. But if Bitcoin stalls out a little bit and doesn't get a rally right away, or even doesn't get a rally at all, then we will likely see MOG's price continuing to drop, even if Bitcoin just consolidates. And if the price does drop all the way down below the all-time low, we've actually seen the all-time low hit all the way back in the liquidation event in October. So this would be the very, very last area of support. Actually, now that I think about it, we have hit this area of support twice, but the second time was very, very brief. It was literally just for a few minutes back in the liquidation event. So if Bitcoin continues to consolidate or even drop, then MOG will likely lose this area of support and continue to drop a lot more. This drop could be absolutely brutal, going down 50, 60, 70%, even potentially much more than that. There's basically no bottom for MOG's price because we don't have any support areas below that. So yeah, in my opinion, the structure of MOG itself is not looking great. There is a lot of potential with it being such a volatile meme coin, and if Bitcoin does get a rally, then MOG will likely also rally an insane amount, but it's still so incredibly risky, and as I said, there's no real possible bottom for MOG in terms of price, and if Bitcoin continues to drop, MOG could basically go all the way down to zero. It's absolutely possible. There's nothing really backing this coin because it's a meme coin and it has a very low market cap. So I would personally not get into MOG at the moment because I am expecting most altcoins to underperform Bitcoin at least until it approaches new all-time highs. And with Bitcoin not doing well, most altcoins, especially ones as fragile as meme coins, are not going to do well either, and most likely significantly worse. And it's completely possible for you to lose basically all of your money with a coin like MOG if Bitcoin does continue to drop and we lose the areas of support. That's going to be it for this update, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss any future updates about MOG, about different meme coins, altcoins, and Bitcoin. So make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.